Hi, my name is Steph. If you'd like to come on in, scooch up a chair for some symbolic support. We're going to utilize actually some scrolls for you to pick a pile or pick a card today. We'll add on Terran Oracle and where Mr. Ghost Gift is here kicking. We have Ghost 2 for any audio additions from the afterlife that may further add to our or adventures. Overall, pleased to receive a release freely. And thank you so much for being here. So I will reveal while I continue to yammer on. If you'd like to go with, we'll go with 1, 2, 3. If one specifically or any shapes are standing out, or of course a combination or a collection of them. I'm getting the sensation that I'm noticing if things are a building block, what you might be building, and maybe that's a question to consider. What bricks are being built, structurally very strong for long withstanding, and also maybe taking other structures down and taking a look at them brick by brick, but not getting stuck on anything. It's how I'm feeling. So maybe what are we building? Are we taking something down for space, or are we building a new structure? Hopefully you have chosen. I'm going to take a moment to open up. You are welcome to join me. Timestamps are below. If you're like, pitter patter, let's get at her. Just taking a nice deep breath, closing the eyes, cleansing the palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support in the name and honor of anyone here at any time. May you meet a message with meaning. Gratitude galore, and thank you for being my muse. If you're new, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome home. Let's go. On to the first one. Numero uno. When you're ready, let's dive into your ink blot. See if I can bring this up. Woo! There we go. Okay. Whew. So right off the hop, I'm seeing a frog playing drums. If you see, sense, or feel anything, please feel well to comment below, as it does add to the reading and the reflections. I'm also getting the sensation that I'm seeing sound. And I'm seeing sound as though on different planes. Very interesting. Also something in my vertebrae and my posturing. And while I'm reaching up, okay, so this may sound a little funny, but it's like somehow when I'm reaching up, there is another kind of energy. It feels supportive. So whether it's a guide, guardian, somebody in the afterlife, I don't know who it is. As I kind of sit up and like look over to like, oh, what am I seeing here in all these different planes? They look like clouds, but I'm seeing sound. I don't know how else to say that. And it's kind of like I lift my seat a bit. There is something in my root space that is being, I'm going to say, kind of released by this. It's like I'm willing to release it. I'm willing to release it, and it has a place for another energy to assist in it's not the healing of me. It feels like the energy in and of itself. Does that make sense? So whatever it might be for you, whatever context, personal, professional, romantic, platonic, the yada, yada, yadas, whatever the energy of that is, not the way I absorbed it or the way it was intended, or if I, whatever, the actual energy of that. It's like that energy has a mama or a papa too, has guardians to help it grow or change. I'm not sure. I can't really follow it. It disappears into the sound that I see. Oh, does it become a seed for something? I'm not sure. Okay. Because I can't fully see it. Let's add on some
pot.
It's getting, a pot. A pot. And you know how when you're sitting and then you like fix your posture, all of a sudden you're like, oh, how long have I been sitting like that? I'm somehow feeling that. There is a bottle here. And I'm seeing, it's like opening a perfume. Okay, so before I could see sound, and now I see scent, like smells. I can see the smoke coming out of this perfume bottle or scent. I don't know. We have here identity coming through, making your own choices.
Sure.
And maybe this is really reflective of that. May I? If you look at the artistry in the card, and you know me, I'm always going to go for the art first. And even how there are strings attached to the hands. This is what, even though they're in the hands, is there one at the tush? There is. There's kind of one right here at the tush. So imagine if this person, the way I saw it, kneeling, like sat up, butt off the heels. Sorry, I'm also seeing something else. Hold on. Okay, thank you. There is hands down, palms up, and it creates this whole current of giving and receiving within the self. And you know, did you ever play that when you were kids with the palms out and then somebody else would put their palms down and then you try and like cha, cha. I don't know why there has to be a cha sound, but there is.
Behind you.
Friends forever. Somebody also might you might have a friend that mirrors you. You are gaining a stronger foundation by them being in your life. Even if they have passed, their presence in the afterlife is very balancing. I know it may not feel that way. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean, try and help the hurt go away. But it's almost like a reminder or an hope. It feels like hope. We are still working together. We are still growing together, even though we're in different planes.
I'm eternal.
Absolutely. I also feel like when you said that, I'm coming out of this bottle, this eternal energy, because I'm seeing it like a mushroom, and the very traditional mushrooms of, was it like Christmas with the red ones? And then you also have here, shine, make yourself seen. This lantern, the smoke, this bottle, the smoke. You know how like a frog can be on land and water? Whatever that word is, I'm not going to try. Emotionally being heard. Physically being seen.
Child.
Perhaps from when you were a child as well. And that's bringing me into seeing sound and seeing scent. Sorry, give me a moment. There is a dragon in here. See this dragon wing? But it's like I'm only seeing the bust. The bust of the dragon. And this dragon is, they're like folded towels on a bed or napkins. This dragon and a swan. It's not two swans. Or the dragon has the essence of a swan and the swan can have the essence of a dragon. Something along that lines. And it kind of brings me back into this identity.
39.
I also want to note, with this Friends Forever, it's coming through of, it could be your masculine and feminine energies, of course. But the way I'm seeing it is it's in that vertebrae, the root and the crown. The root and the crown being friends, posturing together. oh, what was that? It just kind of, see, even in this card, like the face is covered in flowers, something about being seen and your beauty of being seen. Okay, let's add on a few tarot cards before we get ready to go to scroll 2. Sorry, I don't know why. Oh my goodness, zombie tarot. You're being very difficult. Hope you guys are doing well. If you haven't already, please do consider like, sharing, and subscribing, as any interaction with the channel is appreciated. And all the links are below to help a gal grow. Awesome. All right, let's give this a flip. I feel like for some as well, you also notice when someone's blowing smoke up your arse type thing, or trying to shade your shine. Even if it's through compliments. It's not, I don't feel paranoid about compliments. I feel like I just have this knowing where I'm like, oh. And then I also know when they're very sincere. It's like I can smell sincerity. I can taste a truth. I can taste a truth. Page of Swords in the reverse. If Page of Swords means anything to you, see, but I'm going to go in with the artistry. See the shadow here? And it's like, am I in danger here? I've heard strange noises. And I'm like, who's out there in the other room? And they're like dancing, like, oh no, I'm a friend. And it might be your shadow. It might be something that you're, like, in the spirit of this, of the scry, of the blocks, are you actually taking them out and looking at them? I think that's what you're doing. You're like, do I need to be scared of this? And I don't mean to say that you are scared of this. What it makes me feel like is, do I still need to? Maybe it was something when I was 8 or 18 or 24, 72, and you're taking a look at it. Because when I'm seeing the show Will and Grace, when I think it's Karen and Will at some point in time, they're like sitting there looking at these imaginary bricks, and she's like, ah. And they end up like crying and bawling their eyes out. But inevitably they feel better as friends, even though they try to play like they're not friends, but they are friends nonetheless. So with this Page of Swords, I feel like I'm trying to discern, are you friend or foe? And this could be my own shadow. You might have also had experiences when you were a kid with poltergeist activity, and it was of your own emotional state outside of you. And that could be part of the healing. I'm seeing Princess Peach from Mario and Luigi. Oh. Okay, sorry. The Chariot, up or down, because I don't know where I just was for a moment. I really don't know where I was for a moment. That's okay. Okay, so this reminds me of when I was younger and I was traveling with my cousin across the USA and Canada by car. And at one point in time, like, the bubble on top of our car opened up. So like all of the stuff came flying out on some highway. Hilarious. And we had like a CB radio. So a trucker was like, hey ladies, like, your bubble is opened up and you have shoes all over the highway. Hilarious. Anyway, everything was fine. I feel like I've tried to look at this before. Maybe this is something inherently building my own identity to identify with that is shiny for me. And that shine can blind other people a little bit. And those that it doesn't blind, or they know how to put on sunglasses or change their scope so they're not blinded by it and they're not bothered by your shine because you're not bothered by their shine. That's an angel. You also, yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay, it's right in here. So there is a head, and I have something, I'm like looking at myself. It comes out of my heart. I am busting at the seams in this pick-a-pile in number 1. I am busting at the seams. Like, this little scenario here feels like this. And maybe there's so many strings, and I'm not trying to be dramatic, like, oh, I have so many strings. Some of them are very helpful. right? Some of them help me move through things almost in a hypnotic state, so that my mind or my heart is focusing on other things while I'm in these tasks. It's meditative. Others of them I feel tied to, and maybe I've tried to move on from them before, and it's like something came up in the road, and I had, some sort of, and I'm like, had to come out of the car, be like, what is this thing dancing in the road? So we have to stop. All this stuff goes everywhere, and you're like, what is this? I hear like I'm almost home. I'm almost home. I'm seeing a shark in here, but this shark feels friendly, but I also see the shark with a toy or okay. So if a shark and possibly a lion had a baby. If a shark and a lion had a baby, the real is, we're surreal here in Spooky, so it's fine. We don't need to figure that out. It's like the frog. It's the land and the water. And you might be whatever that is. I almost want to say it like introvert, extrovert, ambivert. Is it ambivert? Or where you can go through both. It's like being the son or daughter of a god. And are you a mortal or are you superhuman? Like, you might not feel fully accepted by the mortals. You're too weird, but you're not fully accepted by the gods because, you're half. But I'm seeing it as in this shining within my own identity of maybe these two parts of me, or whatever context I'm looking at.
Finish.
And looking at the positive and negative of the whole thing and pairing them together. So they're not separate, good or bad. It's just one whole story. And then I can decide what I'm going to do with that brick. Yeah, okay. Closing out message. We have here the 3 of Wands. This is what I feel or what I want within myself, and I want to note that there's 3. Even though there's a whole conversation of 2, 2, 1, it's a 1, 2, 2, 3.
Attic.
It's like I said, mortal or superhuman, or whatever word I used, I can't remember. You're the 3rd. You're the frog that can go between land and water. You are the son or daughter of a shark and a sphinx or a lion. I'm also seeing, as I'm getting ready to close out here, pile 1, sorry if I've yammered on way too long. You know when people are making fluffing pillows. All right, I'm going to leave this here. I will see you on the other side if you're stepping in for another scry, or until next time, I will see you soon. Bye. Number 2, when you're ready, the scry's for you. So here
Albert.
is your scroll, Albert. I'm seeing almost like a really cute gremlin coming through right here. It might be Albert. Albert might mean something to you, or, okay, the energy of an Albert. I'm being welcomed with arms open. I'm smiling about this embrace. You might have somebody in spirit, because I'm seeing ghosts in the ears. Ghosts in the ears. I don't know what that means. Also, there's octopus. Yeah, if an octopus symbol means anything to you or has been standing out. Have you ever seen the show Raccoons? 3 Raccoons? I can't remember if they were. I'm sure they weren't malicious in nature, but something along that lines. think it's a gremlin. I think it's a gremlin, or like a teddy bear or a carrot. It's something that is.
Dress.
I'm also seeing a dog. I think it's like a hound dog, or it's like one of those dogs that are pretty quiet unless it is hunting. It's not a small dog. It's a bigger dog, a taller dog. It's not like a Shih Tzu or a Pomeranian or Chihuahua. Okay, so, but then it's kind of bringing me into if maybe you would want to watch number one. It's like a dragon, or yeah, a dragon and a swan together, and a swan can have the essence and fire breathing of a dragon, and a dragon can have the essence of a swan, right? Something about that. Yeah, that's how that's making me feel. This dog, I feel like I am not defending the way
Stop
I hear
recording.
things, but I feel like acutely aware of subtle sounds that maybe are said or not said, unspoken, and I pick up on them. I pick up on them like a dog. This feels very relatable to pile one, but I'm going to just take a moment here. Okay. There's something else going on over here. I'm waiting for it to change for me with this octopus and these other characters. I feel like I am underwater or in space, and I have to wear some sort of suit. You're so more than welcome to leave, love. You're so more than welcome to leave. There's a candle here to my left, or there's a door over there to my right that will take you wherever you'd like to go. Something about a magic carpet ride as well. There's something about, okay, so maybe it is space oriented because it's a black hole. But in the black hole, there's a portal. Does that make sense? Like, is that how you exit a black hole? So you don't go wherever the black hole goes? I don't know. There's also a very little witch on a broomstick in the sky. We have here 55 media, magic. Some of you might be in media.
What date is it?
I think we're July 10th, maybe. And as I said, it's card 5-5. It's also 10:55 on the clock. So fives might be a thing. They're asking me to add them up to 20.
Sit down.
Okay. Oh, I've got major ringing in my ears for them. 20. Oh my goodness. Lover of solitude, retreat. Take one more. Whew. And then we have here 36 chords, bondage. Whew, if you want to take that in for a minute. And you know the drill as well. If you see, sense, or feel anything in this ink blot, please feel well to comment below or keep to yourself, as it does help the reading become deeper. The reflections inspire each other in our interconnected nature. So I'm going to go down a rabbit hole that I don't want to go down. Just because... But, you know, we got to do it. We got to do what we got to do. So for some of you, you might feel that there's some sort of tomfoolery going on by magicians or whatever they want to refer to themselves as from an identifying power factor. And that's cool. I'm not poo-pooing on them. However, whatever they're conjuring, it's enforcing an energy I feel like I'm already aware of, and it's actually enhancing the bondage to be broken. Raccoons. So maybe there is something taken, or I feel like it's been taken from, I'm going to say, a past life, paralleling. I feel like it's outside of my aura. It's like that black hole feeling. Like if my aura was space and is space, but if my aura is space and there's holes in it and I see them like black holes. Does that come up, or am I all over the place? And I have these portals to not take chicken doors as one might lead me to believe that they are. They are probabilities of alternative realities within a reality of whatever it is that you wish to create. Remember, and then even when I was like in space, now I'm back at the water, and now I feel like I'm with this card. Lover of solitude. There's something about the quietness my shadow side brings, but my shadow has an aura of light. There might have been something in a past life that absolutely tried to bind me or bound me. But by doing so, gave me the opportunity to become even stronger than they.
It smells.
By completing it or being willing to go through it, because it's like that feeling. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this, but here I go. Like we're gonna do what we got to do, right? Because it's like,
elderly,
so that you don't carry it when you're older. There's also something about maybe taking a media detox, I suppose, or being a little bit more discerning of what media you're taking in. But I think you already have that. And maybe that's just stepping forward for that to say, yeah, I already have that. I'm not looking for it. Oh, so it's like multimedia. I feel like I'm actually adding in other media.
None.
Because maybe there isn't any. Maybe you play a board game, or you're playing video games, or watching TV. I don't know. Whatever these things are. Like maybe you have a lot of subscriptions and to Paramount or Netflix and Amazon, and it feels very TV oriented. And you're like, I really want to know what's putting a spell on me and what is adding and what it's adding. Your awareness is like just top notch. Because I feel like, again, when I wander into this space of my aura, my space, like outer space,
Gemini,
meets the shore of my ethereal emotions, akin to what would be one of the physical expressions of water on earth, and a physical expression of earth on earth, water and the shore. But this is like outer space and ethereal emotions. It's very odd, but very cool. Then that octopus can dive even deeper. The octopi can go even deeper than these others. So I think when I wander down that rabbit hole, and maybe you're just aware of them and you retreat from like watching a show or a movie, whatever the case is, and you're like, this doesn't feel good. And you retreat, and it breaks the bond by like reaffirming that and then turning on what you do want to watch. Did I tell you that I flipped it? I flipped it. We'll add on a few tarot cards and then we'll carry on to scroll 3. I hope you guys are doing well. And if you didn't already, please do like, share, and subscribe, as any interaction with the channel is appreciated. Ooh. Yeah, so we got here 5 of Wands. Okay, so if you're here, and I don't know what context this might be in. No, I'm going to put you up there because you're able to retreat and break the bond. But from something, and when I say media, this is the me. It's a somebody else me. It's a somebody else me. Maybe it's a friend or a foe, coworker, lover, yada, 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 yada is. But the way it's breaking up is me and then dia, D-E-A.
Graveyard.
I don't, and if you know what DEA would stand for in regards to some sort of policing thing, is that like policing thing? While there was a squabble or something in a decision of how to like utilize your energy, because again, they didn't realize you were always going to break free from this, which would inevitably makes you stronger than they. I hope I'm not saying that in a very nasty way, but I do want to say it in a very matter-of-fact way. And you got away to here, to the shore, and you broke free of something. I got to come back down to the scroll for a second. I think there might have even been like different people, places, or things competing for your attention.
House.
Somebody is yelling. It feels like a gopher or a groundhog. I feel like there is one point in time I can sense in my life that I made a decision that I inevitably knew I kind of want to say I would regret. Yeah, I kind of want to say that. And while I'm not bound to the emotion of regret, maybe that's something I've worked through when I'm building a better structure and boundaries, or the way I feel about regrets, or even competing. Because now that you've gone through something,
Stroke.
I don't know that you would be somebody they would want to compete with. So I feel like I'm working through a regret I didn't get to say the last thing, a regret, oh, I wish I would have done that or that. Did you say stroke? Did somebody have a stroke? Or don't give yourself a stroke about it. I'm also, I don't know if I am like amongst children of 3. If you're a middle child, oldest child, youngest child, or you in a group of friends. But when I say that, I see the power of 5 in regards to like the pentagram of power. King of Wands. Yeah, see there, this gopher, groundhog, there's a masculine energy helping you put yourself, I'm going to say, back together. It reminds me, again, when I was young, or if anyone was young, and I don't want to say you're in trouble, but maybe you're drinking, you're like, oh, now I got to call a parent or a guardian or a friend to say, can you drive me home? Can you come pick me up? And I feel like somebody did that. Whether it was a dad, a grandfather, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, somebody did that. Your sister, your older brother, whatever the case is. Because that bond feels unbreakable. And maybe if this
You were
person
funny.
has passed, I have regrets of maybe reflecting on the past at different ages. And I'm being asked to relieve them. Because they're binding both energies up. I hope this is making sense, pile 2, card 2, whatever we decided to call it.
Start.
Okay, thank you. So now what's been happening now that I'm through this? Yeah, I see you down here. Spider monkeys. And baby pandas. If baby panda bears mean anything to anyone? Okay. So in regards to this other energy of all these 5s that inevitably made 20 that you were able to retreat from, but it's like they still even chased you a little bit, but now they're bound. And I don't know what to do with that right there. I don't know what to do with that right there. And maybe that's where you're feeling too. It's like I might be at a place in my creation, destruction, life, death cycles, this, that, or the other. Which way do I want to go from here? I have a seashell up against my ear and I am listening. I also feel like I am taking in a tone I wouldn't hear otherwise. And maybe that's those dogs again. I'm also seeing somebody crying you a river. Or that's how I feel anyway. They're crying you a river. I'm also seeing this. I'll bring it up for you. I'm looking at the things, like the building blocks of whatever it is that you're creating, and seeing their balance. It's like these are all non-perfect spherical yin-yang symbols. But I'm also seeing where some energies are maybe seeds within myself. I'm not sure what they are. Do you know, like, if you ever played the old school, like, Mario games or even beyond, and I'm sorry if it's incorrect, but I'm seeing it as a video game, or like Dig Dug or a caterpillar game or something like that, and you could get yourself stuck in a cycle or stuck in a block, and then you can't move. Like, the guy just goes, he just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's all he can do now. That's when it makes me feel like I've isolated these things. Whether they're people, places, or things, what you see, sense, or feel, whatever the case is, you've been able to isolate them, whatever these cords are, and looking at them, I guess deciding what you're going to do. And I feel like in a weird way, as I'm going to say and close out here, pile 2, I'm either going to I can cook with this one and create something nourishing from it. One I can plant, like a Jack and the Beanstalk. And one I can I'm seeing it like a dog with a tennis ball. It's like I toss it or something like that for like the birds or something like or your dog can play with it. I feel like that, like I have 3 choices. And this might be in regards to a fork in the road.
What is that?
But I feel like as I'm coming through here, pile 2, I feel as though there is this. Okay. Somebody is rubbing my eye. So if I've been crying or something about like my glasses, like I would, right? And you would like clean your glasses. I feel like I'm being cleaned up from any experience recent to reflective history in space or whatnot, and I am being cleaned up. I feel like I'm almost having a bath, and I've kind of got my tongue sticking out because I feel like other energies might be seeing this, and it's kind of not in like a na 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 poo poo, but it's kind of like,
Disrespectful.
yeah, I did it. I did it. And now I'm being cleaned up by these
Amazing.
energies. And it's like getting me ready to be fit for the presentation. Like you've, I don't want to say returned, because this isn't about, I feel like physical expressions may have something to do with it, but this feels very inner first, like a cleansing from the inside out. It's like you've been through being on some hostage like island. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but place where it is. It's because it's really how powerful it feels in some context. Even if one part of me, from any sort of life or a piece of my mind, my history, childhood, yada, 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 or jobs. And I've had to not only get out of there, it's kind of like is it Shawshank? And then I've had to like dig myself out of there slowly. Then I've had to swim eons in these rough waters. And I don't think this other energy expected the strength, but it's incredible. I'm going to leave it here because I feel like it's a lot, but I want to congratulate you for the work that you are doing and the help that you are receiving. Because the way I'm seeing it is there's feminine energies primarily, though encompassing both, doing like this bathing thing with you, but the masculine energies, or these guards and guardians, are putting like the bones in tool. I don't mean to be so stereotypical about it, but it is what it is, and I don't want to poo-poo on what something is just because it may be in our time frame seemingly stereotypical, but this is just maybe somebody that's the way they're tasked when they were here, or they are still here and they're not in the afterlife. They were just really good with their hands and their tools and creating things. It's like, oh, I can fix your chair. I can build this ladder for you. I'm going to, put this sole of your shoe back on. It feels like very tangible things. It's the strength and the softness. I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much. I love you. I adore you. And if you made it through all that, it's because you've been through a lot more. And I'm nothing but grateful. I'm head off to scroll 3. So I will see you there, or any which other one you chose. Until next time. Bye. Pile 3, when you're ready, let's go. This scry is for thee. Here's your ink blot. You know the drill. If any shapes or symbols are standing out to you, please feel well to comment below or keep to oneself. As it does help deepen the reading, it inspires our interconnected nature. Like, I feel like I'm giving 2 fingers. There's kind of like 2 fingers there. Okay, I am... I feel very royal here. There's like these, I have like this really long dress. Maybe you're getting married, congratulations, or having some sort of commitment ceremony within oneself. Maybe this is in another realm. There's a crown.
Peaceful.
These beings are like, they're massive. They're massive comparatively to the size in which I see myself. They are massive, but they are so kind. Turtles are a thing. I feel like I am being dressed for success. That's how I'm going to say that. Dressed for success. Whatever success you might be building or wanting for yourself. There's also this audience that feels, oh, this little duck is looking. He just turned and looked at me like, you saw me? You saw me? I saw you. A rubber ducky. You're the one. And if you haven't watched Scry Two or Scroll Two near the end, that did come through. So they are all interconnected in one way or another. It was about having a bath. And then this is like a worm or something. And this little worm, I don't know if it is a worm, but it's something in that it's very friendly. So that's why I say worm versus a snake. But it's almost like a fuzzy caterpillar. It's a fuzzy caterpillar, and this fuzzy caterpillar has a gift for you as well. Like, I'm waiting to give you a gift. I'm waiting to give you a gift. There's also a little white rabbit above you. This doesn't feel like fear. This feels like... Do you know how in the Matrix movie, when I guess like he gets the message on the computer and says like follow the white rabbit or something like that, and then the woman or the people come to the door and she turns and she has the white rabbit? It feels like that. That's all. It's not for me saying fertility or fear or the typical, and I'm not poo-pooing those by any means. Awesome. This feels like just simply a message of you have the white rabbit kind of floating around your head. It's above your crown. It's a crown, but it's spiky. Also, skunks are here. Oh, they love you. It's kind of like a Pepe Le Pew situation, but it's not in this obsessive manner. They are like just love for you.
What is your name?
My name is Stephanie. What is your name? All right, let's keep going here. Sorry. I'm telling you, through this. Oh, this whole deck is upside down. 14, the lioness strength. See, you're being presented. Presented. Also, maybe you feel like you've been through the initiation of fire, something's burning away, whatever it is that you were building. This feels like a crematorium. This feels like something that I am not even deciding, are we going to bury it? Are we going to do this? No, it's just straight up ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I will make a diamond out of that dust. I will add even more pressure to that, to those remnants, and create something magical amongst the mundane. Because it's for the mundane. The mysteries, initiation. Did I say out loud you might have been through the initiation of fire, or did I stop myself? Getting all distractiotos. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm going to be presented. Like the doors, the gates are opening. The mysteries, that's the white rabbit. It's like you can't see the white rabbit because it's above you, floating above you. Like one of those little birds floating above your head. Also, I don't know if somebody has like a red nose, like if they cry, like me when I cry, I get like red ugly face. Like I'm just, my skin immediately reacts and responds in like a red way. But also or like a red nose, and or if somebody is a drinker or somebody around you was a drinker and they have since passed on and they're stepping forward because they have been helping you through this strength. Oh my goodness, sorry. I'm telling you, I'm very odd in this. Feels...
What happened to me?
Feels like a really good and yet uncomfortable. Pick a pile. Pick a card. Hekate's Wheel, 41.
I'm lost.
Interesting. So not lost, love. We're here together. We're here together. So you are here. Big old X. perfect spot. 14, 1, 4, 41. And when this first came up, I know I didn't say it out loud. It was, there might be a different way to look at a 5. If you're going through change, you're creating change, you are cremating the change, cremation of it. 4, 1, another way to look at 5. And also seeing 5. And I can't remember if 5s came up in card pile 1 or 2. I can't remember now. That time is long gone. And then there's 7. You might be in life path 7. 7 might be standing out to you. 7 might have meaning. If you've been looking at 5s, you're moving towards 7. 7th heaven? Was that a show? 7th heaven. There is I'm seeing this. I know there's a starfish in there, so the starfish symbol might mean something to somebody as well. Something about how do I say? Is it Simon? It was like a circle thing when I was a kid. I don't think I had one.
Cheating.
And it, like, certain colors would light up. Beep, boop, 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 and you had to follow the pattern. And I feel like you've completed all the patterns. If there was any energies around you that were cheating, tisk, 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 their initiation was not complete. It's like your, yeah, see the sun. It's almost as if anyone around you was cheating off your paper or mimicking by assuming certain attributes, but without understanding them. I don't know. I feel like I'm saying that in a really rude way. Because I feel like I'm in some sort of maybe metaphysical school or concept or some sort of consciousness college. And, you know, there's kind of like a group of people. First of all, you're graduating that if you haven't already known that. And excuse me, anyway, if anyone was like copying off you or kind of like skating through because of you, they didn't make it through. And it's almost like I feel like I'm being a little bit like, oh, but you skipped a grade, or this person or this someone, this concept of energy is like, yeah, but they feel like they're being held back and accusing me of moving on or moving up or skipping a grade or something like that. And it's like, no, I just literally went through what was required in the curriculum of earth consciousness connection. And I understand why you're viewing it that way, but I'm not going to sit for this tit for tat when it's not. I feel like it's trying to like diminish. We're absolutely here for you, love. We're so here for you if you want to talk. Do you know what I'm saying? And maybe this is even a part of myself, possibly in Scroll One, talking about being seen, identified, and shining on. And maybe this is doubt for me. Like, did I cheat through? Or maybe, of course, if this is in a physical sense, romantic, platonic, personal, professional, the yada, 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 maybe you were cheated on and you have to decide how you're going to digest that. Does it reflect you as a person that you're cheatable? And how do you want to change it? But I feel like it is changing if you haven't already changed it. Does that make sense? Okay, sorry. I feel like I'm all over the place, but here we are. The sun came up. The sun strength. Like, you have solar power. But this initiation of whatever it is that you've gone through, I'll take a look in a minute, because if I didn't tell you that I flipped this, it becomes multi-dimensional, multicolored. It's like seeing a stove burner that is like neon. You can cook in different degrees of things. This feels like consciousness. I'm seeing a big old, very ornate butterfly down here. I'm also seeing somebody like boing, boing, boing. They're trying to see you. They're trying to see you. This could be the cheater. Maybe you just have somebody, a little obsessive about you, and they're trying to see what you're doing, or they ask very strategic questions so they don't have to think for themselves. They're very codependent on your energy. I don't know. I'm not trying to be all rammy-roo about it, but there's something, definitely a cycle about this, and even with this card artistry coming up, which is the Two of Hazards. Like, they've chained a portion of their energy to you because you are an inspiration. You are like the sun. Maybe you are the sun or daughter, but you emanate sun energy, and you are like the source of something. They've chained, anyway, a portion. That's them. Again, like I said, you've graduated or moved on from this. So I don't know what else to say. I'm not going to feel bad about that. The fact that somebody would make me, I'm just kind of go into the feelings here. The fact that somebody would want me to feel bad tells me something. When I did nothing wrong, because I know you would know, oh, I didn't mean to say it that way, or oops, I'm, sorry. And I'm not trying to, make it the small thing, but I feel like if this is your auric field or understanding right now, you would know. You would know. You're like, I did not mean it that way. Let me explain myself. It would be this calming demeanor of expression versus this feel bad for doing good. Somebody wants me to feel bad. Maybe it's doubt. Maybe it's another part of myself. Maybe there's shame. I don't necessarily, again, this is why I'm careful to not be necessarily so poo-poo on it, because if this is a part of me, an aspect of me that I am moving on from and detaching from, I don't want it to be a murder scene. I don't. If it's within myself, if it's reflectively something outside of me, well, I got to acknowledge that there might be a ring of fire around me of protection. And that's okay. Because I'm seeing new spaces.
Satan.
Yeah, it kind of has that feel, eh? Like just very shallow, symbolically feel. Like you've had the strength to make it through the fires and depths of hell via a sunny helicopter. Like you were picked up and plucked out. You made it through. What is that? I just heard the Squid Games or something like that. But you also have cheerleaders. I don't mean to focus on the poo-poo person or energy. Because you also have cheerleaders. Somebody's also opening you up at the belly. You might have had a C-section, or you might be a C-section baby or something along that lines. But for those that doesn't apply to, it feels like I am being looked at in my guts. Also, okay, sacral and solar plexus specifically. I'm taking a look in what's going on in here. I'm taking a look, and I'm to be honest with you, I feel like this is part of like some from the initiation of the cycle, maybe also your feminine cycles, of course. But this feels like I am happy with this dimensional doctor or whoever this is, this healing, to take a look at what's coming forward with me. What, like, they're just curious, what are you taking with you through your initiation?
Come here.
Sorry, there's something else I'm seeing. I'm just trying to get my bearings about it. Okay, I'll keep shuffling. Maybe it'll help me. The Tower. I feel like you're leaving this hellish thing via helicopter as somebody else's tower, or a tower to what I was tethered to before. I'm going to acknowledge in that moment that whether I was tethered one way or another, in some way, shape, or form, I thought there was value, even if it's a mindset, this, that, or the other. And I was using it as an excuse. Like, this is This is deep stuff. Like, I'm in the belly of my own Beauty and the Beast here. My own metamorphosis, though. I don't know what this is meaning for, but you're not somebody else's experiment. Maybe this has to do something with your parents in some way, shape, or form, just with the belly coming up. Like you're somehow chained to them. And I don't want this to necessarily feel like a negative message, because I want to note that the strength to go through this initiation and remove the cycle multidimensionally for you and for those in any sort of auric capacity, whether it's lineages that were a part of it, will also receive the benefits. But if someone if someone or something wasn't a part of it and tried to cheat or skate their way through, they're not going to receive the benefits. Please don't make them feel bad for your bliss. Allow the bliss to be. Even if I feel like they're saying, like, again, how they're trying to make me feel bad, that's their tower. It's like, it's actually not my tower. Nice try. Nice try. Thank you. Because the way I see that is this tower, this is the top of it, and you're going over it. Wow. Impressive. Can I get another card before I close out here? Pile 3. I'm sorry if this is all over the place. I do want to note this feels like super strength. I feel very excited to see where you're going to go with this, and I think others are as well. Ooh, yeah, there it is. Honor your temple, purity, or pure. This is a whole purifying process. Unseen. Trust your growing potential. Number 11. Whoops. Oh, we're getting 2. Okay. Paradisical. You belong to paradise and infinity. Preserve your power. I feel like this might be a nice message right now, going through this metamorphosis, because I'm seeing it not only as a butterfly, a monarch butterfly, you've already been through the thick of it. And I feel like you kind of get to play a little bit here in this. Strength. Nurture your diverse talents. No, those aren't for you. No matter how old you are or young you are, the ability to metamorphosize and be proud of your accomplishments. Because even through this infinity, with the red balloon, like seeing it like, is it, right? The movie It. And it can be a haunting symbol, the red balloon. Haunting symbol. And now you play with that red balloon. You play with it. You see it. And you're like, oh, it's not, and again, in this way of, oh, I'm just being ignorant, not seeing the red balloon. It just, you're not afraid of it. You also know what it means to you. Yeah, it's a lot. It's not as rich in its power as it once was. I hope this made sense. Pile 3, card 3, scroll 3. Truly, I'm grateful for you. If you haven't already, please do consider like, sharing, and subscribing. I'm so grateful for your attention and awareness. And until next time, so much love. Bye. There is no secret scry today. I have to get ready to go to the farm, to the flower farm today. But I just wanted to send out, if you made it to the end, or whichever door you chose, I just want to say thank you for being you and making your way through. But you know what I am going to do? Like, there's no like straight up secret scry. but we are going to do a little
Psychic.
card or two, just for you. Because you made it through. You said there's a secret door in here somewhere, and I'm going to open that door. We have here the not so spiritual journey. Okay, let's see what else is going on. See, you knew there was another door. And maybe it's not so spiritual journey. Maybe it's not in the way that we would normally do things here, but it doesn't take away from it as well either.
Start.
What else we got here? What's going on? Woo! The eye of the storm. There's the eye up there as well. If you've made it here to the end, if anybody around you, energies, and I'm not pointing fingers at people, but energies that are embodied in an earthly human form that have ill intent, you see them.
Can you hear him?
And no more. I don't know if just your light attracts or what it is. Eterna. See, it's like putting a mouse in a mouse trap, but putting a snake in a maze. What was this? The catastrophist. It drops them in. So if you've made it to the secret scry, and I got to admit, I'm going to put on one more. We'll take the bottom. I heard you. Just this paranormal poker hand here. You resist any sort of temptation for the not so spiritual journey. You understand the benefits and the beauty of the physical, the emotional, the this, that, or the other. And not everything needs to be spiritual. Doesn't
Light.
need to be heavy. It can be very light. It can, or just feel weightless. You also understand when you meet different people, places, or things that you harmonize with their entire holistic being. So you're not looking for perfection or expecting that. That's ridiculous. However, you do know if anyone has or are really tuning into if there's some shady business going on. Maybe they want to take from you or create chaos in your life from any reoccurring cycles. Because these cards did technically come out together, this energy gets dropped down and kind of like eclipsed out so they can't see. And they're in the
Scorpio.
maze. And maybe in some way, shape, or form, you might be resisting stepping into with other people. Maybe because of their title, who they are. Making excuses, right? When we can all say that. Well, they're my boss, so I gotta, put up with this. Or, they're my parents or my siblings, whatever the case may be. And I'm not in any way saying anything about that. This feels like on a bigger scope that you are here to interact holistically, and that on earth as an earthly presence, you as an eternal soul have been dropped down onto this planet to create life. For some, it feels like you're a storm. Maybe that is altering beliefs. That maybe what you decide to walk and talk and do things, others are perceiving. And I feel like when I say others, it's people relatively close to me. They're like, "What? I can't believe you're taking that journey. Like, that's not godly. That's not spiritual. That's not faith. Maybe it's different from your family, your friends." You're like, "I am an eternal being. I don't know how to help you out there. I don't know how to help you see that within yourself so you can appreciate it in me." For some of you, you might be teachers and you might have found your way to express something that is teachable. A teaching that somebody would set forward that is teachable. But I do think that there is a lot of resistance at this time for a lot more people that may realize how not teachable they are, how sacred the student space is, how sacred that space is, really. When you were born,
Neil.
when you were born, it's like there was as an example of what I'm trying to feel here, is there was a storm that night, that day. Lights flickered. I don't know. Does that make sense? What you did in the other realms to be here, I don't even know that I can fully say how grateful I am that you did that. You went through, in the eternal space of the worlds, what you did to be here. But I want to say thank you. And while we may come up against resistance, or others may see you and I as resistance, it's there. It's, perception. Everyone on each side of the war thinks that they're doing the right thing. You're trying to help, but they see you resisting, or they see you as the resistance to their way, and vice versa. And I'm not saying there always has to be a villain or vendettas. And I think that's kind of the change I'm feeling here in this space. And it's like I want to say I'm lured into feeling that. Victory, villains, vendettas. And I'm in this aura with you.
How
I'm
do
like,
you feel?
I see that. I see what you're saying. And I can empathize with it. But I see above it. I don't want to say that in an egotistical way, but it's like, I don't need to choose based on your model of choices. Those are not the only options available. And while I may not be able to, as Steph, say what they are, help have them clear this, that, or the other, I do know from what you may be intuitively and intellectually, imaginatively, interconnectedly understand, you're like, these are not my only options. Because
Stress.
none of them are right. And it does create stress. Because how do you express it? Should you even express it? To somebody or somebody's, or a time when there's many teachers and less teachable students. I'm not saying that as a judgment. I'm just saying it's how I'm feeling in this moment.
Canada.
Oh, Canada. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Gratitude for you being here. Being here. Secret Scry. Until next time.